So we have to talk about John Lovett from Pod Save America. This is a liberal podcast I imagine most of you do not listen to. This is a podcast where they went and interviewed Joe Biden. They went and interviewed Gavin Newsom at the height of the fires. Gavin Newsom was just sitting and doing podcast interviews. Well, John Lovett from Pod Save America, he came out and basically said he did not talk about Joe Biden's cognitive decline because he wanted Joe Biden to win. We actually have a clip. Let's take a look at the clip and then discuss.
I remember feeling, I want to talk about this as a huge liability. I want to talk about this as something Joe Biden can overcome. But I'm not going to go so far as to say, I think Joe Biden must drop out. He is too old to be president. A, because I didn't know exactly what was going on behind the scenes. But B, if Joe Biden is the candidate, I want him to fucking win because I care about the country and I don't want to be somebody suddenly having the words we're saying taken out of context.
John Lovett, all of your friends from Pod Save America, you guys are low testosterone beta male shills. Low testosterone beta male shills. That's my new ringtone. You guys are a joke. Okay, the fact that you would rather have a brain dead zombie as president than someone who's actually functioning and can get up at 3 a.m. to go down to the Situation Room and handle a crisis is a joke. And it's why you should not be taken seriously whatsoever. And we also have some reporting in this new book, Original Sin. Apparently, John Lovett and his buddies over at Pod Save America, they met with Biden in April of 2024. And they said they were deeply disturbed. He was rambling. He was incoherent. Well, to my recollection, Joe Biden was still in the race until July 21st. So you're telling me April, May, June, July. You guys kept your mouth shut and you went out there on your podcast and on television and said Joe Biden is going to save democracy. Your podcast is called Pod Save America, and you didn't think that having a brain dead guy at the helm was a threat to democracy. All of you want to call Donald Trump a threat to democracy. Well, guess what? He can actually count to 10 and walk in a straight line, and he knows the temperature of the room. The same cannot be said for Joe Biden. So all of you guys are a joke. I would love to come on their podcast and rip them a new one, but from what I've heard, they look like they might enjoy that, okay? They look like they might enjoy that a little too much. So no, John Lovett, all of these people at Pod Save America, nobody should ever take you seriously again. The fact that you saw Joe Biden was not well, and you said, you know what? I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything because I wanted him to win. So what's the game plan here, you dumbasses? He's going to win, or they ram and jam him through like the basement campaign in 2020. He dips out and leaves us with cackling, belligerent, drunk Kamala. That was the game plan for the Democrats? You geniuses. Good for you, Pod Save America. I do think you might want to change the name of the show. The show is called Pod Save America, but you clearly weren't interested in saving America because you were fine with having a man whose brains are mashed potatoes. We can also talk about the open border, sky-high inflation, the escalation of war around the world, the increase of the surveillance state under Biden. All of these things do not lead to saving America. So you guys go back to the drawing board. Like I said, you're a bunch of low testosterone beta male shills for the DNC, and it's why you probably won't have a career years from now. Now, we have to move on. Something else that's tangentially related, Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson will not go away. Like I said, these two are almost like a rash you get on spring break in Fort Lauderdale. You try everything and it won't go away. That is who Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson are. We are still being subjected. We are still being subjected to the torture chamber that is this book tour. Okay, the book tour really started 2 weeks ago. It feels like it has gone on for 5,000 years. It was like Elton John or Barbra Streisand's farewell tour. It's still going, okay? They've been doing the farewell tour for 30 damn years. So Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, we are begging you to go away. But these two had the audacity to go on CNN and question President Trump's health. Okay, they didn't want to question Biden's health years ago, but now that they have egg on their face, they want to question Donald Trump's health. We have a clip. Take a look.
President Trump, while he appears healthy, he has not been transparent about his health records. And I think that that's something that the American people have a right to.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I think, listen, this is not the first time this has happened. Woodrow Wilson, FDR, JFK all hid significant medical failings. Joe Biden was not totally transparent. It is going to happen again.
I cannot take these guys seriously. Okay, thing one and thing two, little Tweedledee and Tweedledum, please go away. Either get a room or go away right off into the sunset together. The tension between you all, it needs to dissipate. If I never see these two people again, it will not be soon enough. Everything I've learned and seen about Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, I have learned against my will. And the fact that you are questioning President Trump's health is a joke, and it's why you all should not be taken seriously, okay? President Trump just completed a massive, grueling tour of the Middle East. He just gave an incredible commencement speech at West Point. He was running around, meeting the cadets, waving, shaking hands. This man is the Energizer Bunny, okay? There are people who are 21 years old struggling to keep up with President Trump because he has superhuman energy. He also just had a huge physical. He had a cognitive exam. All of that was released publicly, and he passed with flying colors. So Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, they feel like, well, we kind of look like jokers and hucksters because we let a lot slide with Biden. Now we need to try to manifest health issues with President Trump. And I'm here to tell you that's just not the case. And that's not really how it works. He also goes golfing all the time. The man is golfing almost every weekend at Bedminster or Mar-a-Lago or in Virginia at one of his properties. He can play 18 holes. He could do another 18 holes. So telling me that President Trump has not been transparent about his health is a joke. But this seems to be the new mainstream media narrative. They say President Trump is not transparent with the media. He's not transparent with his health. He could not be more transparent with the media. The man opens sources and posts what he's thinking on Truth Social and says, hey guys, what do you all, the electorate, the American voters, think about X, Y, and Z? He invites reporters into the Oval Office almost every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. He is available to the press. Also, his medical records are out there. So this is the new narrative. We're going to be tracking this. CNN, the mainstream media, they're really trying to say President Trump is not transparent. Every accusation is an omission.